You're watching Morning Pulse on HornbillTV TV. Amid concerns over the situation in Bangladesh, former Information Minister Muhammad Ali Arafat has issued a strong statement saying that crisis has worsened following what he described as a full-scale insurgency in July 2024. He alleged that radical Islamist forces carried out an attack on the democratically elected government of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Drawing historical parallels, Arafat said that these groups trace their ideology to collaborators of 1971, accusing them of siding with the Pakistani army during the Liberation War and contributing to mass killings during the period.
Thank you so much for speaking to ANI, sir. My first question, how do you analyze the situation right now in Bangladesh?
Thank you for your question. Well, things are going really, really bad and getting worse, I would say, because you know what happened in 2024, July and August. There was a full-scale insurgency, and there was an attack on the legally established government of Sheikh Hasina, where I was a minister, and the attack was on the part of the radical Islamist force, and then eventually our government did not sustain. And then the power was seized by Yunus, and he is backed by this radical Islamist force. And these people, this radical Islamist force, are basically Jamaat-e-Islami and other, well-organized Islamist organizations. And these people are basically the ideological descendant of the collaborator of the 1971. There's no ambiguity in the equation. It was very simple. When the Pakistani military attacked Bangladesh back in 1971 and started killing people, and a group of people from this land itself, they collaborated with Pakistani military establishment and went against us. And not only collaborated, they actually helped them and contributed to the killing of 3 million people. So you understand their attitude and mindset. And Jamaat-e-Islami is the party, and it's the same party now, but it's a different generation. So they have this issue and this grudges and reservation against Awami League, and so is against India, because we defeated them in 1971, right? They had to surrender, and they could still not come out of that shame, and they did not forget it. So now they came back with a different kind of level, as if they are the patriotic force and all that, but they're still serving the Pakistani military establishment. And after seizing power, what Yunus is doing, completely appeasing that radical force and allowing them to create mobs and attacking the road number 70, attacking the Bangabandhu's residents in road number 32. They're attacking the cultural institutions, they're attacking the media, and they're attacking all the Awami League leaders. They're invading into their houses and setting fire on and killing people. So this is what is going on. And when it comes to election, they're going through kind of a show. They're staging a show to the world, because Yunus has no mandate, right? So he's running the country without having any mandate. So the group of people that he's deriving his power from, he's basically handing over the power to them through this process of election. It's going to be a one-sided election. It's a rigged election. The right-wingers and the Islamist force together, there used to be an alliance against Awami League and our alliance. So now it's going to be an internal election for them. So it's going to be a selection, basically. It's not an election at all.
The press secretary of Chief Advisor Yunus said the Awami League will not be participating in these elections coming up in few weeks. What's going to be the future of BNP, and what's going to be the strategy for the BNP going forward? And how do you look at the decision made by this interim government?
Yeah, as I told you, they basically seized power. They captured it illegally, and they want to continue with that. They have no intention to get the country into a democratic transition.
Again, it got stuck. It's not.
Okay.
Is it better now? I think we can do this. Is it better?
Okay.
Ritik, kar sakte? I think, yeah. Let's do it again, sir.
Okay.
So, the chief advisor, press secretary, said that Awami League will not be allowed to participate in this election. What's going to be the future strategy of Awami League, and how do you take this decision?
Yeah, this is quite expected from them because they have basically seized power from a democratically elected, legally established government of Awami League, and they want to continue with that. So they know if Awami League is allowed to come and participate in the election, the people are going to vote them back to power again. So their intention is they want to continue with, the power without Awami League, and that's why they are not going to allow Awami League in the election. So their plan is they continued to be the government for, absolutely without the mandate for a year and a half. And now they want to hand it over to the same group of people from whom they derive their power, right? The BNP, Jamaat, and all those. So election is just basically a show. They're just staging this drama to show the world as if there's an election. But it's basically anything that holds the values of the spirit of 1971 of our liberation war, they want to wipe them off. And whether it's Awami League as a political party or other political parties, which are not Awami League, but smaller parties used to be part of the Awami League alliance, they are stopping or blocking them also to come to the election. Anything that holds those spirit, like the cultural institutions or the media, they're attacking them. They're attacking the Hindi community, they're attacking the Ahmadiyya community, they're attacking the Christians, they're attacking on anything they find goes against the Islamist ideas. So I think the way they are going through, Bangladesh is going into the path of a complete distraction. But definitely we're not going to allow that to happen because Awami League led the nation to independence. And of course, we are going to come back and fight against this evil force and bring back democracy in the country.
The Guwahati police have recorded significant improvements in crime control and policing outcomes in 2025, with the conviction rate rising sharply from 4% to 28%. Joint Commissioner of Police Ankur Jain said during a press conference on Friday. Addressing the media, Jain attributed the progress to focused leadership under Commissioner of Police Partha Sarati Mahanta and a series of structural and operational reforms implemented over the year. He said that charge sheet filing rate has also showed marks improvement, strengthening the overall criminal justice process. Beyond conventional policing, Jain noted that Guwahati police effectively use social media platform to manage and promote large-scale public events under the city's emerging concert economy, ensuring crowd control, public safety and smooth coordination with it during mega events.
2025 सन में श्री पार्थो सारथी महंतो IPS पुलिस कमिश्नर गुवाहाटी के नेतृत्व में हम लोगों ने किस तरीके से पुलिसिंग में जो सफलता अर्जित की है और कैसे हम लोगों ने नए तरीके की पुलिस पद्धतियों को लेकर गुवाहाटी के जनमानस के लिए अच्छी पुलिस व्यवस्था देने की कोशिश की, उसके ऊपर मैं आप लोगों का ध्यान आकर्षण करना चाहता हूं। हमारा जो चार्जशीट रेट है वो लगातार अच्छा होता जा रहा है। जहां 2021 सन में 19.11% हमारा चार्जशीट रेट था, वो अभी 2025 में हमारा 68.34% पे आ गया है, जो कि एक बहुत अच्छी जो है उपलब्धि है। पूरे के पूरे क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम का एंड तब होता है जब अपराधी को सजा मिलती है, दंड मिलता है और उसके बाद में उसका एंड होता है सर्विस इस चक्र का। इसके लिए हम ये आपको बताना चाहेंगे कि 2021 में जहां हमारा कन्विक्शन रेट 4% था, वो अब हमारा बढ़ के 28.5% पे पहुंच गया है। और नवीन नवीन न्याय संहिता के अंदर में भारतीय न्याय संहिता में रजिस्टर हुए केसेस में 86.8% हमारा कन्विक्शन रेट है। अभी आप लोग वैसे भी जानते हैं कि आसाम जो है वो नवीन न्याय संहिता के क्षेत्र में नंबर 1 है ऑल ओवर कंट्री में। क्राइम अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी जो है वो हमारा कंटिन्यूसली कम हो रहा है रजिस्ट्रेशन। इसका मतलब है कि हमारा जो इफेक्टिव पुलिसिंग है, पेट्रोलिंग है और जो चोर चक्कों के अगेंस्ट में लगातार जो एक्शन लिया जा रहा है, उसका इफेक्ट हमको देखने मिल रहा है। 2025 में हमको 1854 केसेस देखने के लिए मिले, वहीं 2023 में 3752 केसेस थे और 2024 में 2800 केसेस थे। तो क्राइम अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी हमारा नीचे कम हुआ है। साथ ही साथ में हमने 2118 2118 चोर वगैरह को हमने अरेस्ट किया है। व्हीकल थेफ्ट के केसेस में भी अगर आप देखेंगे तो हमारा 2024 में जहां 1118 व्हीकल चोरी का केस हुआ था, वो इस साल में हमारा 553 ही रजिस्टर हुआ है और हमारा रिकवरी परसेंट जो है वो 48.2% है, जो कि पहले से बहुत अच्छा हुआ है। साथ ही में हमने कंटिन्यूसली अंतरराज्यीय जो व्हीकल चोर गैंग है उनके अगेंस्ट में एक्शन लिया है। मेघालय और मणिपुर से ऐसे चोरों को हम लोग अरेस्ट करके यहाँ लाए हैं और काफ़ी व्हीकल रिकवरी की है। इसमें हमारे सारे डीसीपीज ने बहुत मेहनत की है, उनकी टीम्स ने दिन रात मेहनत करके इसको वो किया। सेम चीज मोबाइल चोरी का केस जो हम देखते हैं, हमने 1159 मोबाइल फोन के मालिकों के पास में पहुंचाया है और 203 मोबाइल चोरों को हमने इस साल में अरेस्ट किया है। एनडीपीएस के केसेस में आप देखेंगे कि कंटिन्यूसली हमारे केसेस जो है उनका रजिस्ट्रेशन बढ़ा है और जो अरेस्ट होने वाले एक्यूज की संख्या भी बढ़ी है। 2025 में हमने 406 केसेस में 555 लोगों को अरेस्ट किया है और 28.86 करोड़ मूल्य का जो एनडीपीएस सब्सटेंस को सीज किया। साइबर क्राइम के क्षेत्र में जो मैं बोलूंगा कि हमने अभी में इस साल में 6.28 करोड़ का रिकवरी किया है और उनको उनके मालिकों के पास पहुंचाया है। कंटिन्यूसली गुवाहाटी के अंदर में राजधानी शहर होने के कारण मेगा इवेंट, मेगा विजिट्स होते रहते हैं। इसके लिए हमने सारे डीसीपीज और ट्रैफिक ने कंटिन्यूसली मेहनत करके सिस्टम को डेवलप किया कि कम से कम परेशानी देकर गुवाहाटी के रोज के यातायात को बाधित किए बिना हम इन मेगा इवेंट को कैसे कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए हम लोगों ने सोशल मीडिया का भी भरपूर उपयोग किया है। गुवाहाटी जो कि कंसर्ट इकोनॉमी के रूप में अभी हमारा फर्स्ट पोस्ट मेलोडियम कंसर्ट जो इंटरनेशनल कंसर्ट हुआ उसमें हमने सोशल मीडिया का उपयोग किया और सोशल मीडिया का उपयोग करके कंटिन्यूसली हमने जो पार्किंग की अवेलेबिलिटी और ट्रैफिक स्टेटस को बताया। इन सबको उपयोग करके कंटिन्यूसली ऑनरेबल डीजीपी सर के गाइडेंस में और सीपी सर के सुपरविजन में हम लोगों ने मेगा इवेंट को फ्लॉलेसली एग्जीक्यूट किया और इस चीज को हम लोग आगे लेके जाएंगे। थाना कमेटी और जो हमारी गुवाहाटी की राइज जो है जो कंटिन्यूसली सीपी सर की व्हाट्सएप हेल्पलाइन पर इंफॉर्मेशन देती रहती है, इसमें हमने त्वरित एक्शन लिया है जिसके कारण हमारा प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन बहुत अच्छा हुआ है। केसेस जो अपराधों को हम लोग होने को रोकने में सक्षम हुए हैं और साथ ही साथ जो अपराधी हैं उनको हम लोग जल्दी से जल्दी अरेस्ट करने के लिए सक्षम हुए हैं। तो इसको लेकर मैं गुवाहाटी की जनता को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं और हमारी पूरी पुलिस टीम जो इसमें दिन रात लगी हुई है उसको भी मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं।
External Affairs Minister S. Shankar on Friday took a strong stand on national security, describing Pakistan as a bad neighbor and asserting that India has every right to protect its citizens from terrorism. Addressing students at IIT Madras, the minister said that no external force can dictate India's actions, a remark widely seen as an reference to Operation Sindoor.
Neighborhood first policy, while maintaining a stature of non-interference and protecting our security interests. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I was there in Bangladesh just 2 days ago. I had gone to represent India at the funeral of the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Begum Khaleda Zia. But let me actually take your question in a somewhat broader format, not just Bangladesh, but neighborhood as a whole. Okay. We are blessed with a lot of neighbors of various kinds, and I want to answer your question in a very common sense kind of way, because at the end of the day people make out as though diplomacy is rocket science. It's common sense in kind of polished language. Now, what do you do in common sense with a neighbor? Any neighbor. I mean, you are in a hostel, you have neighbors. If you have a neighbor who is good to you, or at least who is not harmful to you, your natural instinct is to be kind, is to help that neighbor. If the neighbor has a problem, you would like to contribute in some way. If nothing else, you'll say hello. You will try to build friendships, bonding, etc. And that's what we do as a country. So when you look around our neighborhood, wherever actually there's a sense of good neighborliness, I think you have seen India invest, India help, India share. So, we were talking about the COVID. Most of our neighbors got their first shipment of vaccines from India. Again, when our vaccination program was still going on. Okay. Then, I give you a second example, the Ukraine conflict. Because of the Ukraine conflict, there was there were food shortages, there were fuel shortages, there were financial crises. Now, again, with many of our neighbors, we supplied fuel, we helped out with food, we helped out with fertilizer, and in a sense, we were sharing what we had. Now, some neighbors went through very exceptional stresses. A very notable one was Sri Lanka. That Sri Lanka actually had an acute financial crisis. And we actually stepped up with a package of $4 billion at a time when, their negotiations with the IMF were still sort of moving at a very glacial pace. So that's what, in a way, good neighbors can do. I mean, just recently, there was a cyclone in Sri Lanka called Ditwa. The day the cyclone happened, by that very afternoon, we were there. We were there with help. Our ships were at the port, but within a day, our helicopters reached there. Our rescue teams were there. I went there myself with a few days later with a kind of a reconstruction, rebuilding package. And believe me, if you ask the average person, they have that sense that, look, I have a neighbor like India. I know when things get bad, I can rely on a country like this. And again, it doesn't have to be a crisis. You also work with neighbors by power grids, by waterways, by roads, by ports, by doing business, by helping tourism, by having people come for medical treatment. So this is the positive scenario. But you can also have bad neighbors. Unfortunately, we do. Now, when you have bad neighbors, and, if you look to the one to the west, if a country decides that they will deliberately, persistently, unrepentantly continue with terrorism, we have a right to defend our people against terrorism. We will exercise that right. How we exercise that right is up to us. Nobody can tell us what we should do or not. We will do whatever we have to do to defend ourselves. It's a common sense proposition. Now, again, as I said, a lot of it is goodwill. Many years ago, we agreed to a water arrangement, water sharing arrangement, because the belief, the underpinning of that was, it was a gesture of goodwill, because for good neighborliness, we were doing it. But if you had decades of terrorism, there is no good neighborliness. If there is no good neighborliness, you don't get the benefits of that good neighborliness. You can't say, I will, please share water with me, but I will continue terrorism with you. That's not reconcilable. So I think there is as I said, a good neighbor, bad neighbor, but an overall neighborhood policy. Most of our neighbors, I think, have, a realization that India's growth is today a lifting tide. That if India grows, all our neighbors will grow with us. They will have many more opportunities. I think that, in a sense, is the message which I also took to Bangladesh. And yes, they are right now heading for their elections. We wish them well in that election. We hope that once things settle down, as I said, the sense of neighborliness in this region will grow.
Tripura Chief Minister Manik Shah on Friday highlighted the cultural significance of 44 Agartala Book Fair, noting that its proximity to the railway station has made it more accessible to visitors from outside the state. The Chief Minister said that the fair reflects Tripura's rich tradition and culture, adding that it is not limited to books alone but also features cultural programs and recognizes individuals for their contributions. Emphasizing the importance of reading habits, Shah expressed concern that people today largely restrict themselves to syllabus-based reading and stressed that the need to read books beyond academics.
त्रिपुरा में बहुत दिन से ये बोई मेला जो यहाँ हो रहा है त्रिपुरा में, और पहले रविंद्र भवन के सामने होता था, बाद में चिल्ड्रंस पार्क में हुआ, लेकिन जगह का कमी है। बहुत लोग आते हैं, स्टूडेंट्स और जो लिखते हैं, जो राइटर्स है, उसके बाद बाहर से भी लोग आते हैं, पब्लिशर है, तो इनको जगह का बहुत कमी होता है। इसीलिए यहाँ पर अभी शुरू हुआ, बहुत साल से यहाँ पर शुरू हुआ। तो एक तो ये 44th बोई मेला है, तो इसमें एक सुविधा है कि रेलवे स्टेशन भी पास है, तो बाहर से भी बहुत लोग आ सकते हैं। दूसरा हो गया, ये नेशनल हाईवे के ऊपर है, तो इसलिए मैंने वहाँ पर कंजेस्टेड होता था, तो यहाँ पर होने के लिए बहुत मैंने सुविधा हो गया हम लोगों को। दूसरा हो गया कि यहाँ पहले तो बांग्लादेश से भी बहुत लोग आते थे, और पब्लिशर, उसके बाद अपना अपना जो राइटर्स है, कलकत्ता और बाहर से भी बहुत लोग आया है, यहाँ पर आसाम से भी आया। तो ये 44th जो बुक फेयर एक महीने में त्रिपुरा का जो परंपरा और इनका जो कल्चर, संस्कृति, खाली किताब नहीं, बाकी भी यहाँ पर जो कल्चरल इवेंट्स है वो भी यहाँ पर होता है, और उसके लिए भी इन लोगों को पुरस्कृत किया जाता है। तो और बहुत सारे किताब हम लोग उन्मोचन भी किए हैं, बहुत लोग जो लिखे हैं नया नया किताब। तो मैं समझता हूँ किताब पढ़ना चाहिए सबको। आजकल तो किताब पढ़ता नहीं है कोई, तो किताब खाली जैसे कोई सिलेबस के भीतर में ही है, तो सिलेबस के बाहर जाके किताब पढ़ना बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि इससे दिमाग का जो है ना फ्रेशनिंग होता है, और दिमाग के साथ साथ सोचने का ढंग भी परिवर्तन आता है, और ये राज्य के लिए, देश के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी हमेशा कहते हैं कि हमारे पास अभी जो यंग जनरेशन है 18 से 35 साल, ये हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा ह्यूमन रिसोर्स। तो इन लोगों में आप अगर सोशल मीडिया और जो फुल बॉक्स कहते हैं ना, ये स्क्रीन की ये जो टीवी वाला, ये सब देख के ना सोचने का, दूसरे का सोच खाली सुनते हैं, देखते रहते हैं, खुद का सोच कुछ नहीं निकालते हैं। और स्वामी विवेकानंद जी कहा, जो दुनिया में जितना लाइब्रेरी है वो लाइब्रेरी इकट्ठा भी कर लो, और अपना जो लाइब्रेरी दिमाग में है वो उससे बहुत कम है। तो इसीलिए जब पढ़ोगे, जितना हैबिट जितना डेवलप करोगे, अपने आप जो आपके पास भगवान ने आपको दिया है हर चीज़, उसका प्रकाश होगा।
The Secretary of the Department of Financial Services, M. Nagaraju, chaired the Interdepartmental Committee meeting on Friday to consider proposals received from the Reserve Bank of India regarding foreign banks seeking to open branches, representative offices and subsidiaries in India. It was attended by member ministers or departments, that is the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of External Affairs, the Department of Commerce and the Reserve Bank of India, according to an official release by the Minister of Finance. During the meeting, after the due deliberations, the committee recommended the proposals placed before it. IDC is a committee wherein the Department of Financial Services, as the nodal department, evaluates proposals received from foreign and domestic banks. Before reaching consensus, the committee consults the proposal with members, ministers or department, that is MHA, MEI and DOC, seeking their inputs in the matter from security, political and economic angles respectively. That's all we have for now. Keep watching HornbillTV.